Hey guys, I want to give a quick update here about the Strongman Deadlift World Championships. In the last video update that I did, I basically said that if my son was born and he was fine and my wife was doing all right, that I was going to try to come over to the competition. And I would like to announce that he was born and he's doing great and my wife is doing great. So that is no longer a hindrance to me coming to this contest. But in the meantime, I've had a conversation with the promoters of the competition, and they basically let me know the rules to the contest and how everything's going to go down. So what I can tell you is that the rules are set, the weight jumps are set. Basically, the contest is going to start at 400 kilos, which is 880 pounds. It's then going to jump straight to 420 kilos, which is approximately 925 pounds. Straight from that to 440 kilos, which is about 970, just shy of 970 pounds. And then from there, they're going to go to what will be a new world record, which is 465 kilos, roughly 1,025. And then from there is where this contest will get interesting. They're going to go straight from 465 up to 500 kilos, which is 1,100 pounds. So there's no weight jumps from 465 to 500. Now for me, I was hoping to have a weight jump somewhere around 475 to 480, about 1,050 to 1,060. That's what I was hoping. The way that I feel right now with those weight jumps is that this contest most likely will end in a tie. And for me, I'm way too competitive to come to a competition that I think out of the gate is going to end in a tie. If there was more weight jumps, if there was more of a way to find a definite winner, then I feel like I would be game all day long to compete. But there's a couple other factors here at play, other than the fact I think this is going to end in a tie. One, and probably the biggest factor, is the fact that World's Strongest Man is going to be held in August in Africa, and I'm prepping for that very hard. So if I were to come over and compete in the Deadlift World Championships, I would then have to deload from my training in order to be ready to lift that kind of weight, number one, and I would lose training time for World's Strongest Man, number two. So for me, I will be completely transparent, completely honest here. The biggest thing on my calendar every single year in my competitive calendar is World's Strongest Man. Hands down, number one contest for me is World's Strongest Man. So that being said, I really need to step back and make smart decisions about when and where I compete and what I do to get ready for World's Strongest Man. So with this, I needed to make a smart decision for me and for nobody else, and that decision is that I'm going to step back, not compete in the Deadlift World Championships, and focus solely on World's Strongest Man. And you know, I know that there's been a lot of things said here about this contest and a lot of hype around this 500 kilos, and obviously I personally think that I think that 500 kilos will happen for me in the future. Right now, because I've been training for World's Strongest Man, I have not dropped out my event training. Obviously, I'm still training deadlift very hard, but you know, at this point in time, I do not personally feel like 500 kilos is possible, for me at least. That being said, if you know, Ed has called out the 500 kilos, and if Ed's able to lift the 500 kilos, then obviously this contest wouldn't end in a tie. And if he's able to do that, you know, more power to him. And I honestly will be the first guy in line to shake his hand and tell him awesome job, because, you know, first and foremost, I'm a fan of heavy lifting. I'm a fan of this sport. And, you know, if Ed's able to pull that off, that would be awesome and it'd be historic. And, you know, that's obviously what he wants to do. And there, you know, this is a perfect stage for him to do it. It's set up for him to do it. And so if he can come through it and do it, it's going to be amazing. You know, one other thing I want to touch on real quick is the fact that, you know, in the last video, I made a comment about whether suits should be allowed in strongman, and that I feel that suits shouldn't be allowed in strongman. This, you know, obviously caught some steam, and, you know, Ed felt like I was talking about him wearing a suit And, you know, obviously a few of the other guys kind of felt that way as well. It's pretty hilarious to me because I've been saying for quite some time that I feel like suits shouldn't be in strongman. I haven't worn a deadlift suit for years, and I've obviously done pretty well with my deadlifting. So, you know, the rules state you can wear a suit. So it's up to every guy to choose whether you want to wear a suit or not wear a suit. And all I'm saying is that I think in the sport of strongman that suits shouldn't be allowed. Just a personal preference, and that's, you know, that's really what I believe, you know, especially with regard to deadlift suits. So, you know, if Ed, you know, feels that way about the suit, then so be it. But what I'll say with regard to Ed as well is that Ed and I are very good friends. So we talk a lot about this. We go back and forth. We give each other a hard time. And Ed, you know, as soon as, gosh, I think a couple years ago, he was talking bad about deadlift suits himself. So, you know, that being said, he's now chosen to put one on because he thinks it'll put him over the top to pull 500 kilos. More power to him. If he's able to pull that 500, suit, no suit, doesn't matter. It's going to be amazing. So, you know, it's, I wouldn't put so much weight, I guess, into, you know, me saying the suits and strongman, whatever. Take it for what it's worth. It is what it is, you know, and you know, that being said, with all of this, you know, and with regard to me not coming, there's going to be a lot of different opinions out there about, you know, oh, Brian's stuck in the competition, whatever. All I'm going to say to you guys is put yourself in my shoes for a second and, you know, understand what it takes to deload to compete in a contest like the Deadlift World Championships, and what kind of training I'll lose if I choose to do that. And, you know, obviously going over there, I'm not guaranteed anything, okay? And what I am guaranteed is to lose training time for World's Strongest Man. So that being said, like I said, put yourself in my shoes. I have to make the smartest decision possible for me. And that decision right now, to me, is a no-brainer. It's to back out, let Ed go after this 500 kilos or anybody else that wants to try to pull it, and train for World's Strongest Man. And, you know, this is nothing, I have nothing bad to say about Europe's Strongest Man, the promoters or anything. The rules were set for this competition, and I've never once in my life asked for rules to be changed to suit me. I'm just simply saying, based on the rules that are set in place, I don't feel like this contest is going to have a definite winner, and therefore I'm going to back out and focus on training for World's Strongest Man.